Hello everyone, welcome to From the Star Wars Home Video Library. I'm your host Nathan P. Butler, author of A Saga on Home Video, a fan's... first edition. Author of A Saga on Home Video, second edition, a 3-volume massive guide in full color, available in paperback and Kindle from Amazon.com, looking at U.S. Star Wars Home Video releases. There we go. There's that massive plug I'm sure everybody was expecting in this episode. With a twist, hopefully. Hopefully some of you who have the first edition got a little bit of a chuckle out of that. So, what are we taking a look at this time? We were taking a look at something unusual, something that, by its nature, and by when I got it, is actually not in A Saga on Home Video. This is the first item we're looking at that was not in my possession at that time. Though this type of item doesn't really get covered in depth within A Saga on Home Video, because it's not a retail release. Instead, I have a little separate section, actually, to address this near the end of the book, where it's looking at the oddball stuff, and after talking about screeners and whatnot, it discusses the idea of electronic press kits and the like. And we've looked at a VHS and U-matic version of a press kit for the special editions from 1997 in the past. So that was our example for the book. Well, right around the time the book was being finalized and all the files were being uploaded and everything, John Stanley, a fellow member of the home video collecting group, happened to run across an item on eBay. There was another of these electronic press kits and another U-matic item. I do not have a lot of U-matic items in my collection. I've got, I guess this is maybe the third, I suppose, the special edition EPK, plus there was that Phantom Menace trailer thing. But that was out of the UK, so that wasn't one that I could necessarily use. I don't know why I said UK, except for just the play on EPK and UK there, which makes no sense because one's a place and one's, not. But in this case, what he found was actually kind of cool for my favorite of the prequels, and that is this. This is the U-matic Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith, Jedi Action EPK, Electronic Press Kit, which... These days, an EPK could be something that you get through, just digital means. It could be something that provides you with like a CD-ROM or something, or a DVD-ROM of information. It's not necessarily going to be something that has some type of format that's used for viewing, like VHS, U-matic, beta, DVD, video, Blu-ray, and so on. So, these days it's a little bit, iffy whether or not an EPK will actually be something that would be considered home video in some form. But then you also have sort of the earlier days where the press kits weren't electronic at all, and the press kits tended to be just like photographs, press releases and stuff on paper, often in folders of some kind. But in the middle of those two extremes, we had electronic press kits being released in different video type forms. Hence, some of those finding their way into the hands of collectors like myself. So this one is from, of course, 2005. This is the EPK electronic press kit for Episode 3 for 20th Century Fox. Note there, Jedi Action is the title. Total runtime TRT 2318. So what you got there is 20th Century Fox, little tiny presents. Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith, just like the logo that you would see on like the trailers at the time. Jedi Action, total runtime I just mentioned, electronic press kit, legalese down here, and the Dorman poster art there. Okay. The back is completely blank, as are the top and bottom. It's a clamshell case, but kind of cool here. In this case, the label wraps around, and over here, you've got basically the film title. I'll show you more closely here in a second, but the film title, again, is the logo with that artwork, Jedi Action Electronic Press Kit, total runtime, legalese, 20th Century Fox, and then more legalese underneath. And note, it is just 20th Century Fox, not 20th Century Fox Home Entertainment, because this is not a home entertainment release. This is not meant to be a consumer retail, watch it at home kind of thing. This is something you would send out to like a news organization to have them hopefully promote your movie through clips on like Good Morning America or the local news or whatever it might be. Okay. I use Good Morning America there as a specific example because, of course, that is ABC. They do a lot of promotion of Star Wars and Marvel stuff because they are owned by Disney. Okay, so that's what that spine looks like there. Inside, before we even look at the cassette, and the cassette is kind of tightly in here, I would say, there's a couple things here. You've got like more legalese over here, but then this side on that paper that's kind of pasted in here, it tells you what's actually on it. And what this includes, says a 20th Century Fox Star Wars Episode 3 Revenge of the Sith Jedi Action Electronic Press Kit, 4x3 version with by as an X, not as a colon. But that does mean that it would be airing on like a standard television, which makes sense for 2005, presumably. Total runtime, again, 23 minutes, 18 seconds. Suggested anchor intro is the first thing. Again, kind of suggesting to someone who might be covering this on the news what they might say to kick it off. Last 10 seconds. There's a news package, version number 1 with text. It says Chapter 1 dial MNE/Chapter 2 narration. But then it has runtime of 2 minutes and 49 seconds for that. Also at 2 minutes 49, essentially a similar thing, except this one has no voice or text over it. So it says news package version number 2 without text or voiceover. Chapter 1 dial/effects or comma effects/Chapter 2 music. Then you've got, at 2 minutes and 30 seconds, the Revenge of the Sith trailer. And it says Chapters 1 and 2 stereo mix. And then you've got item number 5. Same time, 2 minutes, 30 seconds, Revenge of the Sith trailer again. This time, Chapter 1 dial, comma effects/Chapter 2 music. Then for number 6, you actually have several things here. It says film clips 4. Chapters 1 and 2 stereo left and right. Total runtime of 2 minutes and 23 seconds. This includes 4 clips, as I mentioned. A, B, C, and D is how they list them on here. Battle Above Coruscant, The Final Duel, Opera Seduction. You gotta be careful with Opera Seduction, because it's supposed to be seducing Anakin to the dark side at that Mon Calamari opera, but it certainly sounds like it could be something else, you know. Is it possible to learn this power? Come home with me and find out. No! No! Not that kind of seduction! And then, I don't trust him. Right? Then we got number 7, Chapter 7, 2 minutes and 30 seconds, which is selected interview bites, 4 of them again. Chapters 1 and 2, production composite audio. It says ABCD. We have George Lucas, the writer and director, and it has a 2 behind it. Then Rick McCallum, producer, 2. Ewan McGregor, Obi-Wan Kenobi, 2. Hayden Christensen, Anakin Skywalker, 3. Then item number 8, 2 minutes and 21 seconds, selected behind the scenes B-roll. That's just like stuff that could be played while you're doing, you know, other narration. It's just like raw footage that you could use. That includes Ewan McGregor and Hayden Christensen rehearse the lightsaber fight, or it says rehearse lightsaber fight. There's no "the" in there. There are 2 clips, clip 1 and clip 2. Clip 1 runs 53 seconds, clip 2 runs 49 seconds. And then you have a B, that was A. B is in the soundstage shooting of the final lightsaber duel. Clip 1 and clip 2 at 26 and 13 seconds each, respectively. As for the actual cassette, again, this is U-matic. Remember, they're freaking huge compared to Beta or VHS or V2000 even, you know, especially beyond something like a Video 8 and all these different formats we've looked at. Huge cassette. By comparison, this is a 16 by 9 paperback book. Not 16 by 9, 6 by 9 paperback book, excuse me. I don't know why I keep saying 16 by 9, I guess because of the aspect ratio. Notice there it's about the size of a 6 by 9 paperback book. But there's your cassette there. Okay? If you've not seen a U-matic, nothing usually particularly fancy except for the flap there. And the little red dot that's off in there. For any of the other sides, typically it's just the stuff that's on the label here. In this case, this label is very similar to the outer packaging there. 20th Century Fox presents Star Wars Episode 3 Revenge of the Sith, Jedi Action, total runtime 23 minutes 18 seconds, electronic press kit, legalese, Dorman artwork. So it is basically this, just without that, to create the label here. As you would expect. You would expect them to go through a lot of expense to keep switching them around. Although I do like how in the background of this, you notice, kind of carrying over, and the background here, it's not just plain white or plain gray. It's actually like a piece of this done over here. Though what's kind of cool is they've reversed it. Because you notice on this part, here's Anakin and here's Obi-Wan to this side. But in the actual artwork, it's reversed, and Anakin's facing the other direction as well. It's just the same art, just horizontally flipped. So, kind of neat there. Definitely a nicer looking label than we often see with an electronic press kit, where usually, or not usually, but much of the time, it tends to be just text here. But in this gigantic clamshell, again, comparison purposes here, 6 by 9 paperback book, compared to the clamshell case that holds the U-matic. So, another U-matic item, finally, one of the few, enters my Star Wars home video collection, my Star Wars home video library. Another electronic press kit enters my library here from the United States. All thanks to John Stanley noticing this on eBay and pointing me to it. I got a very good deal on it as well compared to what electronic press kits sometimes go for, but I'm betting that's probably because being U-matic, while that's kind of cool, like, whoa, that's unique compared to many out there, right? That's unusual. Not unique. Unique means one, right? It's unusual compared to the other ones out there. It's also not something that even someone with like a VHS player could use. So I'd imagine, you know, it's kind of a toss-up between should this go for a higher cost because it's U-matic, which means, you know, kind of unusual on the collecting market, or should it go the opposite direction because it's not going to be useful to someone in their actual player in their home? Should it go for less than, say, a VHS version of this might have? And finally, in the collection here, pretty cool little item here. And again, the newest item to be acquired, basically as the book was in the final stages, so the first being covered on this show after the book has already been published. I know there were a few episodes released after the book launch video, but those were things that I recorded prior to the book launch video. It just took me a while to get them out. So with that, we will wrap up this episode. Thank you for watching, and may the Force be with the home video viewers.